Warning: listeners may experience increased motivation, accountability, and personal development. You are now listening to the Think, Grow, Evolve podcast with your hosts, Eric and Jose.
Oh man, we back.
Back.
For y'all. Excited to talk to you about some monies and some passions.
Just an interesting, I guess, maybe controversial topic, but we're just gonna get our.
I wouldn't say
on it.
controversial, but what I'm gonna say is that I think this one's gonna be real cool because me and you have I wouldn't say super different opinions of this, but we both bring so much to the table in different perspectives. It's like a circle, and I'm on one side. Sometimes you're on the other side. And I think a lot of people our society doesn't allow us to talk about this without arguing about it.
Yeah.
Because when someone's pro money, they're like money, 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 and everyone's like, oh, you're greedy. And then if someone's just passion, 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 oh, you're lazy, you don't want to work. Especially being 24, our previous generation, parents and stuff. If you don't work for the money, they look at us like we're lazy, right?
Yeah. What are you doing? You're just staying at home, not paying rent. Do something.
And you see the trend now of people, and I'm so guilty of this. We're so driven by wanting to find that perfect job, find that happiness, get that perfect career, but
get that dream home.
Yeah, or get that Lamborghini at the age of 17 after being a TikTok dancer, right?
Yeah, that's again just going down towards society and just their unrealistic expectations of, I guess, 16-year-olds that are just TikTok famous and doing all this stuff. But I think the topic that we want to do, or the question I think we really want to get into,
oh baby,
passion versus money. What comes first? What's more important?
What's the process?
What's the process? What are passions? What are your personal passions?
What do you chase? What do you go after first? It's in the process of figuring out yourself.
Yeah, and just the viewpoints. So you're gonna get I wouldn't say two different opinions, but
I'd say two different opinions.
Two different points of view. Exactly.
Perspective.
So, and again, we're not there's not gonna be a debate or anything like that. We're just gonna say, I guess, our points of view, and
I object.
And yeah, and to be honest, I'm going in with this with an open mind, so I have no idea what he's gonna say. But
yeah, I'm gonna learn some shit from you.
So maybe, or I'm gonna learn equally. So
take it away, man.
So okay, so I think let me start off with just my passions, so people can get a little idea. So one of my dreams, which I will do, is to have a gym.
See that positive language over there. I just want to bring. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
I will do. I like it.
It's just yeah. Okay, kind of threw me off there. Yeah, but I will have my gym.
Damn.
So that's one of my dreams and my passions. My passion's fitness. My passion's also talking, as you guys could probably get a little idea. And my family knows I like talking a lot. Also, I like self-improving. I like educating myself on new things. Another thing I'm also passionate about, which kind of relates to this topic, is financial literacy. So I have a little bit of all these passions. Obviously, family's another one that I'm very passionate about. Friends, relationships. So I guess you guys can get a little idea of a little bit of my passions. Now, when it comes to cha-ching, money, like I said earlier, one of the things that I am passionate about is financial literacy. So what I mean by that is, I guess some people may think a get rich quick, or me sitting on who knows how much, a couple billion. But what I mean, yeah, one day. But what I mean by that is educating myself when it comes to money. So what I mean by that is knowing what a credit score is, knowing how something as simple as credit card works and interest. I had I don't know, they don't teach you these things in school. Knowing how mortgages work, knowing how businesses work, knowing how pretty much the world kind of goes around, right? And I've seen people that are not financially educated, and not it destroys them, but I can see the negative effects of not being, let's say, educated on that aspect. So,
well, you definitely are forced to learn some harder lessons. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So that's that's when that's like a little bit, I guess, a little bit about both passion and money. But I think the topic of today is we're gonna kind of discuss which one comes first and why, or what we think. But what about you, man? What are some of your passions, and how do you view money?
Okay. It's a loaded freaking question because
Bang.
so the thing that makes the question difficult specifically about passion is like getting passions and values confused is like my brain wants to confuse them because I look at values of like loyalty, trust, and all that stuff, and it's like my brain thinks I'm passionate about that. But when it comes to like things in my life that I do that make me happy, so like spending time with family and friends, so my social relationships, man, is probably like, if I had to put them on a pedestal, it's like probably near the top. I don't think like without my social connections, family, friends, and even my relationship with myself, it's probably not social, but my connections to people, other humans, is gigantic, which is one of the reasons why COVID, I feel like, hit me harder than I thought it ever could have because of not being able to connect with people like I once did.
I see.
So social connections, gigantic. Sports, like physical activity, moving, like my body needs that. Like I am still that 24-year-old who goes to a damn park and will play basketball by myself for 3 hours because like I love the way my body feels. Like I feel like a little kid running and sweating and catching a ball. Like I remember I would use, as a little kid, I would throw a ball against the stairs and watch it come down because it wouldn't come down the same every time and I'd have to catch it. If I didn't catch it 10 straight, nope. What else am I passionate about? I think I'm truly passionate about learning, and it's funny because I find learning and like with myself an interesting process because I'm very stubborn with my learning. Like I get very frustrated when I'm not learning as fast as I want to. But when I get something that I've been working towards for a long time, whether it's a puzzle, whether it's learning an instrument, whether it's learning how to socially connect with people, I love learning new skills. Learning literally turns me on. It's like, it's just, it feels good. And then the last thing that I think I'm truly passionate about food. Like, no word of a lie, like trying different cultures' foods and like tasting different flavors and different spices, like, makes me feel all kinds of ways.
Alive.
But when it comes to money, like I have a love-hate relationship with money because I think money is like held way too much like power over me because I think money is a very subjective object. It's a term that people use loosely because at the end of the day, money is a piece of paper that like society gave it meaning. It's a currency.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you look at someone, they might view money as like worthless because whatever, they have so much of it. It's just like a piece of paper that allows them to go on vacations, buy a car, like buy food, whatever. Then you look at some people who are in lack and think money is a god. Like money will answer their problems. Like even in my family, the amount of times like everyone's like, oh, the lottery's on Thursday or Friday, like say a prayer that we're gonna get it. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I'm really not going to like ask God for money. Like that's not the one thing that I personally want. And not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm not sending judgment. It's just, I hate personally how much like I've seen money like destroy families. I've seen money destroy relationships. Like before marriages start, like prenuptial agreements, like people are saying like, hey, like if we break up, I get my money. It's just like, whoa.
I'm pretty, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it's like I think it's probably a high percentage of divorces are because of financial reasons. Like it's
definitely like especially like in previous generations when like gender roles were like super predominant and like the male went to work or the man went to work and the women stay at home and watch the kids thing. Like now like she's stuck in that relationship because guess what, he leaves, now she has no money. I mean, I'm happy society kind of addressed that sort of thing, but it just goes to my point of, and I guess as I'm talking about it, I'm realizing that I kind of have a fear of the power that money has. I don't like being in control. And I feel like money is something that like I see controls people's actions, behaviors, thoughts, and like it's probably created a little bit of a negative connotation for me.
Interesting. That's
what do you do when you're scared of something?
You run, well, depending on the person.
You're about to say it.
Run away.
Avoid,
or
baby.
You go towards it, yeah.
So I think a lot of me personally, and I'm not saying this is right, and I'm not saying you, like, I think me educating myself on financial literacy would probably do me good, but at the same time, because I've, like, created this monster money thingy.
Yeah,
I probably avoided, and I've erred towards the passion and happiness side.
I see. So, well, to be honest, I was exactly the same way when I was younger, because I saw money transform people, like you said. It can really influence someone's behavior, that's for sure. But also, I did have this negative connotation towards money. And, well, the other thing is because I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know anything about it. I just looked at it like this paper. Our parents kept saying, oh, just wait till we win the lottery. Or family will be like, oh, only if we won the lottery. Only if this, only if that. So then I'm kind of like, there's a lot of importance, I guess, put on money, right? So then I was like, just my curious little ass. I was like, okay, what is this?
You got a fat ass, bro.
I'm like, okay, like, what is this really about? So
With PH.
So yeah, so I started doing a little bit more, like just research. But what really kickstarted it off for me was the book Rich Dad Poor Dad and his YouTube videos. So as you guys probably know, I love learning new things. And
Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki, something like that. And I love watching just YouTube videos on this stuff. And I would always see, I guess, him talking about liabilities and assets and just all these terms that, to me, I'm like, this is like learning a new language, right? But one thing about me is I think I'm a visual learner. I'm pretty sure, because like I like watching videos and learning from that point of view, and just the way he would describe just money. I was like, I've never thought of it from that point of view. So at first I did have that negative connotation towards money, but then once I started educating myself, I look at money simply as a tool to get me to my goal. That's it. I don't associate my emotions with it. I don't associate like, oh, like that's the end goal. That is my dream to make this. Cause like a lot of people say this, but a lot of families, or I don't know, but they're like, I can't wait they're dependent on the lottery, right? But I'm kind of looking at it as to, why don't you try making the lottery? Why don't you try making your own lottery? Like, we have so many ways to get cha-ching in this world and age that I think it is very possible. And if you educate yourself on investing your money instead of spending it, and just being more cautious towards money, I think you can get really far. Because something I was a victim of was spending my money. And I don't think that's really taught enough. As to when I was younger, especially working just all those part-time jobs, I would calculate how much hours I would work, how much money I would get, and I would always spend on my Visa beforehand, even getting my paycheck, just because I'm like, I know I'm getting paid. So I would spend the money I didn't even have at the time. And now I've definitely switched my approach. But
that's interesting, because when I was younger, I was the exact opposite.
Oh.
The exact like, since I started working at 15, I wouldn't spend a freaking penny. Like, literally
Wow.
wouldn't spend a penny, because I was like, I need to save money. Everyone says save money. Everyone says build your credit score. Save money. Save money.
Save money. That's like the anthem. That
right? And like, it was instilled in, like, for a lack of a better word, I was cheap. I like to say frugal when I'm like around people, but like, I was cheap. Like, I'm getting like the smallest meal. I am meal prepping. I'm getting, whenever someone could like no word of a lie, if my parents were like able to get me lunch, I would never hesitate to be like, no, mom, no, like, thanks. Like
give me that.
Literally. And I think one thing I would have wished that what you're talking about, financial literacy, it's not just, I think it's a survival skill. Like, I think
especially now,
I think financial literacy is an excellent skill, and I don't think I could ever bash a single thing about it. But at the same time, like, me younger, I wish I spent a little bit more money. Like, I know so many people that went on so many more vacations than I did, went to so many more parties and clubs and stuff. And I'm not saying I like, oh, my life is shit because I didn't go, but like, a part of me wished I went, and because I was saying it wasn't like I wasn't getting invited or I wasn't going because I didn't want to. I was not going to save money.
Yeah.
And at the time when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, I mean, like, working at McDonald's, damn it. I was working as a host at a restaurant, not making tips. Like, why wouldn't I buy that? Why wouldn't I go for lunch with my friends on those days? Like, there's definitely a balance, and I think financial literacy actually teaches you that balance, which is smart. But like, you said you wish you gave yourself advice about spending less money. I wish I spent a little bit more money.
Yeah. Well, the thing is now I guess you're in a position to where if you want to spend money, you can spend money, right?
I mean, working at McDonald's and restaurants, I don't think I saved enough to have that freedom. I don't like, and that's the thing too, right? Because my financial literacy was quote unquote uneducated or poor or whatever you want to call it. It's not that I use that money effectively. That's why a part of me wishes I spent a little bit more of it.
I see.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm able as a 24-year-old to 100% pay for my own education, which is such an amazing, liberating feeling.
Really good feeling, yeah.
Because I read so many studies of like so many students in student debt for years and years and interest and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So like, I've gotten the freedom to do that. But at the same time, like, I personally have a huge case of FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it sucks. And I battled that, especially in like early university, high school. Like, I wanted to go away for university, man. And like seeing everyone party and doing these hocos and like freaking St. Patty's Day parties, like
just
I couldn't be happy for people, man. I was like inside, I was like, I hope something happens and you don't enjoy it. Just because I was sad. And I was taking it, I was using judgment, and I was using like, well, whatever, I'm saving money. Like, it was my defense mechanism to defend it, right?
I see. So, okay. Almost like, interesting. So your defense mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way. It protected my sadness, because like when we humans feel sad, we don't want to feel sad. If we feel that we're left out, we don't want to feel left out.
So you may have to work on your relationship with money then.
I do.
So
I
it
definitely.
looks like you have some like bad PTSD already, you know?
I mean, I don't think the current world situation helps, but
no,
you know what?
No, it doesn't. But something that I like that you said right there is how you feel liberated because you don't have to pay those student loans. And that feeling is what can come as a result.
Oh, absolutely.
Of not only having money, but knowing what to do with it, right? Because something I want to go back to is a lot of people say save, 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 save. How many people do you hear say invest, 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 invest? They don't teach you that stuff.
Excluding the YouTube community, not a lot of people.
Recently, right? Which is I'm very happy about, but everyone just says save. No one tells you what to do with your money. No one tells you about inflation, especially now, because I think inflation is going to have just a kickstart. But inflation pretty much basically is the price of, let's say, a water bottle today is completely different than it was 10 years ago. So something that's just
it's like the value of money.
The value of money just decreases over time, and the value of goods just go up over time. It's something natural.
So you need more money to buy less things.
Exactly. So if you even go back to the 1950s, you'd be surprised on just the housing, food costs. You'd get a heart attack compared to the prices now, right? And something simple as me going to Pita Land. How much is a plate? It's like 15, 16 bucks.
Dude, I
remember when it was like 11, 10 bucks.
No. I remember buying a salad. A salad with no chicken on it. No chicken, $21.
Yep. And see, this is
not Pita Land.
And I think this is something that I was not taught of, but being aware of this is, yes, minimum wage is going up. Oh my God, yeah. But this wage, just minimum wage is going up, but the price of living is also going up as well. So to be honest, like, you have to be smart with your money. And obviously one of the things is, as I was young, I spent a decent coin. And, well, I just didn't know what to do with it. There wasn't as many YouTube videos as there is now. No one really educated me. No one educated my parents. Not even in school, man. They don't even teach you something as credit cards. They don't teach you anything on credit score. They don't tell you how important that is in having good financial habits. Something as simple as, if I ask you what your credit score is and you don't know, and let's say you're
Credit
in your
Karma, baby.
you're in your early 20s, you should probably get on that because a credit score is very, very essential. Just within like, let's say you want to get a car, people check your credit score. Let's say you want to go rent an apartment. Guess what? Your credit score. Let's say you want to apply for a visa. Guess what? Credit score.
Yeah, if you want to be independent in life, like for someone who like doesn't know a lot about money and financial literacy, like I know credit scores is probably one of the most important basic places to start.
Yeah, so that's probably where I would start. And two softwares that are free, and we're not sponsored by them, but just so you guys know, you could check out Credit Karma and you can also check out Borrow Well.
But also don't check it too often because that actually penalizes you.
No.
No?
So when you do these, if you do it with the bank, so there's two types of inquiries. There's a soft inquiry, which is when you use these online platforms,
That's
and then
soft.
there's a hard inquiry. Yes.
Raw-
So when you do hard inquiries, hard credit checks are when you go for a loan, when you go, I guess, apply for like a place to rent, when you get a car, when you apply to get, let's say, a house, or a
So
new
in
credit
this
card.
situation, we like
So,
it soft, not
yeah,
hard.
Soft is the way to go.
Nice.
So soft credit inquiries, Credit Karma and Borrow Well. The reason I'm telling you two websites is because there's two credit bureaus in Canada. There's Equifax and there's TransUnion. And every time you go, I guess, towards getting your credit checked, whoever's pulling your credit will pull from either one.
Yeah.
So it's good to know both scores. There's going to be a difference between the two. One credit bureau may have some of your, let's say, like your student loans, if you have a mortgage, if you have a car loan, and the other one may have other things. It's all based on your social insurance number and stuff, but it's a good place to start.
Yeah. And
So-
we're not going to turn this into a get rich quick or how to save money episode, but I think what are some like basic stuff or basic habits or people that could do to actually say your credit score is fucked? Like, what are ways to build it up or what are ways just to get better? Like, simple.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I want to tell people is make biweekly payments towards your credit card and pay it early. Pay it early. One of the things that I was taught, well, not I was taught, but I thought, believe this, paying the minimum was enough. So
That's such a spending person.
yeah. Like, so let's say, example, I had a 500.
All you have to
I
pay
had
is $10.
Exactly. I would max out. Let's say I spent $500 minimum payment, just $10.
I get anxiety listening
And guess
to
what?
that.
sounds amazing.
No.
Oh my god.
That
No,
gives-
but
that
like
gives me
no,
anxiety.
but like to me as a kid, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I'm still a kid, but I'm like, yo, say less, right? So what I would do is I would spend the most, pay the least. Now, what I'm telling you to do is one, control your spending. Well, actually, step one, I would actually create a budget. How much does it actually cost for you just to survive, right? Once you have that number, then you can kind of, I guess, now you have like a good starting ground. So then let's say you do have a visa, you can know how you can budget how much you can spend per month. If you were to, like, let's say, go out and eat, go out to buy some clothes, or go do just whatever makes you happy, right? So, but step one would also be to make biweekly payments towards your visa
So make your payments on time
on time
and make them in full.
and in full. And let's say, you know how usually like statement dates are like a month in between.
Yeah, once a month.
Don't wait the full month.
Yeah, that's what I actually like
Don't
about
wait the full
my
month.
banking app is
So-
like I check my banking app maybe once or twice a week,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
and then like if I see anything in my Visa account that I need to pay, right away,
Yeah,
just
it's-
get it out of my brain.
There's also some banks that offer automatic payments towards your visa, and if you don't want to, let's say, search all the time or you can have it automatically set,
I think that's pretty
right?
cool.
So that's technology, man.
I mean,
So
I like being a little bit more in control. Like I like
Yeah.
knowing what's in my bank account and what's being taken out of. So I mean,
Okay.
I don't think I would go for it. I think, yeah. No, I was gonna talk about like I like that when they do that for investing though.
yeah, no, that's yeah.
Because
and
when I'm
that's
spending money or investing money, I don't want to see it lost. I hate that feeling.
yeah, well, that
If we haven't
That's the
noticed
name
the
of the-
theme,
you gotta lose money to make money. But and so another thing that I think is a really good starter is your credit utilization, right? So and you could find out more information on Credit Karma. This is what I like about Credit Karma, is that it also educates you on how to get a better credit score. So let's say you do have a bad credit score. What you can do is there's a rule of thumb that says don't use more than 30% of your credit utilization. So let's say you have one Visa to your name.
Okay, before you go with this example, explain to people what credit utilization is.
Yeah, so this is the example I was going to use.
Oh, I jumped the gun.
So let's say you have a Visa that's $1,000, right? And credit utilization is a percentage. So they recommend no more than 30%. So what that means...
$300.
Boom. Look who's jumping the gun.
Stephen fucking Hawking.
So what I mean by that is, let's say you have a Visa, or just one. Let's keep this very simple. It's $1,000. Don't use more than $300, which is 30% per term. So let's say per month or per year statement term. Try to stay within the 200 to 300. Now, this is another little myth that I kind of had to deprove myself. I don't know about you, but when I was getting older, people were like, don't get new credit cards. Don't get new credit cards. Don't do this. But going back to this, what I said, what do you think happens when you get a new credit card? You get, let's say,
more utilization.
There you go. So,
yeah, but you could also understand why you should be cautious. Like,
exactly.
If younger Jose had multiple credit cards that you're maxing out and only dropping $10 on each,
yep,
you're fucked.
So then now this also goes down to discipline. So if you get $1,000 Visa, that does not mean that you have $1,000 to spend, right? Make a budget, like I said earlier, and see how much you're able to actually.
When did you get your first credit card?
I think 18. Isn't that when you're allowed? I think.
I remember my parents
so.
giving, or like I going to the bank with my parents and getting one super early, like 16 to 18, sometime around there. And my parents always encouraged me to like, hey, use it once. Like you want lunch, use your Visa card once. And I mean, once I bought a car at 17, then like I stopped doing that because my payments were coming through my Visa.
Okay.
But I think like I tried not to use, like, you know how you're talking about your utilization?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't use the $300. I would use like $15 out of the whatever.
So
but like, as long as
that's good.
I always used it.
No, that's good.
Another thing that I think people can do, and correct me because you're the one who like knows this shit.
I'm no expert though. I'm just still learning.
Say for example, you have a Netflix account.
Yeah.
As long as that is always, say you can put it on your Visa card, and as long as that Netflix is always coming on your Visa account and you're paying your Visa account, it's a very easy and cheap way to build credit score.
Yep.
Because you're paying that $15 a month anyways. Put it on your Visa, pay your $15 a month that you would have anyways, and bam.
Yep. And this is another little little trick that I've been doing is setting up these daily things like Apple Music. Let's say you have like Audible account, or let's say you have a Netflix account, or let's say you have your phone bill. I have all these things on my Visa. I don't have any of these on my checkings. And the other thing is that this really helps within your credit score because it gives you credit history. So let's say, like I said before, if you want to do any of those things, go for a car, go for a mortgage, go for renting, there's history backing you. So then the lender will be like, okay, you're good with credit, and they're willing to not only lend you money, but also at the best rate. Because the other downfall is if you have a pretty low credit score, lenders will still lend to you, but they look at you as high risk. So then they will jack up that interest rate.
Excuse me, sir. I got a question. Excuse me, sir. I'm raising my hand, sir.
What's up?
How does that impact if you have a debit Visa?
Debit Visa. So debit Visas they're pretty much the same.
But my question is, like, say you have like a debit Visa.
Okay.
And you have something coming out of your checkings account because that account is that card, right?
Yeah.
Does that benefit your credit score?
So
if you have a gym, your phone bill on your credit card or phone bill on your checkings account, will that, if you make those payments?
So if it's on your checking account, I'm not 100% on this, but I don't think it would even show up on your credit score because you are paying it with your checking, right? Yeah. But it is a checking.
It's a debit Visa. That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, no. So that I don't know because I used to have debit Visas when I was younger though. I don't know if that's only like a younger thing. I don't know if it's like an older thing, but I don't have one. I have specifically like a MasterCard, a Visa. I have a couple have a couple cards.
You have a couple cards?
Yeah,
well,
I have a
maybe
couple cards.
someone listening to this can
So-
like write into us either through email or through DMs on the socials and tell us
on the debit Visa. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm not 100% sure of, but I know like
because I know like in my family a lot of with the kiddos when they got cards like cousins
Debit
and
visas.
stuff, it was debit visas as
Yeah.
opposed to a debit and a credit card.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking I don't know if it was like a younger, because I did have one too, but
When I was
I
young,
don't
that
know.
wasn't a thing, right? Am I tripping?
yeah, I'm trying to, I don't know.
So I remember getting a debit and a Visa,
And a
and then
Visa.
I hit an age in like high school where it was a debit Visa,
Yeah.
and I could make online payments with my checkings account.
Oh, this actually brings me to another thing. The other thing is educate yourself on different credit cards. So the example we said before of, let's say, these credit cards, let's say you set up your Netflix towards it. There are certain credit cards out there that give you rewards for reoccurring payments, for shopping at groceries, at certain places, at, let's say, gas stations. And guess what? You're already spending that money. And at the end of the year, you get that there's cashback cards out there.
Scene points,
Scene points.
air miles.
There's a lot of cards out there, and if you go on Credit Karma, there's so many that you can educate yourself that are free, that you don't have to pay like an annual fee.
Doesn't
right?
Costco have a credit card that gives you a free membership if you spend enough money at Costco?
Yeah. They do their Capital One, I think, or their MasterCard. Yeah, one of those, which is and you get like kind of like a cashback at the end of the year, depending on how much I think you spend.
Yeah, you're
there.
spending the money anyway.
Exactly right. So educate yourself on not only just, I guess, credit score, but also these different companies.
Dude,
But-
that was I'm gonna say thank you because that was even just refreshing for me just talking about that. Like that was cool. So thank you. But
Yeah.
now we're gonna bring it back to talking about the passions. And
We
were talking about, so now we've talked about chasing money or chasing wealth. We talked about what makes you passionate, but like
yeah.
when you're younger, when you're trying to figure out your career, do you chase the job that has the money or do you chase your passion? Because I remember you saying, you said money's your tool, right? And once you
Yep.
get your tool, then you'll use your tool. And I
Yep.
like that.
So something for me is, some people may agree with me, some people may not, but when it comes to passion and money, I believe in getting money first and then pursuing like my all-time passion. And I'm kind of relating passion towards my end goal somewhat. So what I mean by that is, like I said before, my passion project, my dream is to have my gym, right? I could be so passionate about it that if I really want to, I could open it up now, right? But because of what I know about money, what it can do, I want to focus on getting enough capital and me being good, if you know what I mean.
Define it.
Yes.
No, define being good.
Like being good as in able to finance it. Let's say I want some type of equipment. Let's say I want it a certain way. There's permits. There's just the software. There's a lot of money that goes into running like a business, marketing, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to have the stress of not knowing where to get the money from or being solely dependent on that as my way of income, because I can see what that does to people. And I don't want my passion project to turn into like my depression project because of money, right? So that's why I'm using it as a tool. So this is why I think of how I look at it is I think of getting the bag first, right? How do you get the bag? Investments, be smart with your money, put your money to work. Once I have enough, then I go in towards my dream.
Definitely. And I want to make it clear here that this isn't like there's a right answer and a wrong answer. But the reason where my brain thinks differently is I don't see like passion as like a destination. Like I don't see, and I love your idea of the passion project and I have no doubt you're going to do it, but I don't see like passion being the final destination. I don't see success a final destination, and I don't see happiness a final destination. I believe once you like on the way to your final destination, you find passion, you live happiness, you live success. And like I'll give you an example of what you're doing for work and what I'm doing for work. Like
Yep.
Right now, I'm doing 900 hours of unpaid
Yay.
work. Unpaid, like no money, but what I'm getting out of it is learning and education, and it's only because I'm passionate about it that I
Yep.
can act. Like if you're not passionate about something,
You won't get far.
can you do personal training for no money and hate it?
Well, I already do it for free. For some
That's
people.
my
but
point.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
don't-
because like I said, there's no wrong answer here, and I'm not
Yeah.
like I think that at the end of the day, there's also a discipline aspect. Like there's days where you don't want to go to work, and you got to do sometimes you got to do things that suck.
Yeah.
Like we work the shitty jobs. I did McDonald's for years. I cleaned tables. I cleaned toilets at many restaurants. You know,
Yay.
and you got to do it for the paycheck because you got to earn your way to that final destination to find your passion.
Yep.
And you know your passion's not going to come to you on a freaking silver platter that says this is the job that's going to work for you.
Yeah.
Like remember career counseling, grade 10 or 11?
Don't even get me started
You
with
fill
that,
a freaking survey out of like 80 questions and you're like, oh, your jobs that will match you are going to be personal training or being a
Yeah.
doctor. No.
There was none of those
Zero.
options. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, personal training came up on mine. Even though I
Really?
didn't- yeah, it was number one.
Oh, wow. Mine came, like, I think they told me to be a cop. I was like, okay.
I mean, I could see it.
I was like,
But the point that I'm getting across here is that like passion, I feel like people use passion as an excuse a little bit of the time when it comes to discipline. Like you sitting on your ass saying like, oh, I don't like this job, it's boring, or like I don't want. You got to take into account the skills you're learning at those quote unquote finger quote boring jobs. Like
yeah.
I've done the desk jobs where I for 8 hours a day stared at a screen and inputted like data onto sheets, but I learned discipline. I learned how to work with like legal forms. I learned how to do do you know how important it is to do a proper email? Like just the language of communicating and correspondence and all that stuff.
Yep, like we're just working front desk stuff. Like it's because you're representing a company, right?
Working at McDonald's, working at restaurants, how it is to like talk to people in a professional manner, even when they're yelling at you, even if they're being improper, even if someone made a mistake, or like someone in the kitchen, like learning how to speak to authority. Like the skills you learn in the process of chasing money or chasing passion, whatever you're going to end up chasing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's another thing is I found out my passion doing things, experimenting with different things. It's not like I just woke up one day and it's like, you know what, I'm having a gym, you know? I found that by trying different things. So I kind of have that like as like it's not like an end goal because who knows where I'll be 5-10 years down the line, right? But I like that point of view. It's very interesting.
I know we've said it in multiple episodes, but I'm going to bring it up again because I think like this is something that like I've found out about myself that I really want to strive towards more. And regardless of your path is money or financial or however the hell you're getting to do where you are in life, I think you want to get more life. If it's money, you don't necessarily want more money to just have more money to go to more restaurants, go to more parties. I think you should have more money to make more memories.
Yeah.
I think when you have your passion, like if you're passionate about your job, you can make so many, like going to work is part of your life. Like I know so many people that work the 9 to 5 and I've been this where I'm like, just can't wait for Friday, can't wait for the weekend.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you're only living 2 days out of your 7-day week. Like for me, that's sad.
Yeah.
And I heard this quote and I'm going to butcher it, but I think it was like, life is too short not to enjoy the moment, but also life is too long to do shit you don't like.
Yeah. I love that.
You don't want to spend your life not living. You don't want to spend your life doing a job that you hate. So, I mean, this is a little bit different. Like me and you were talking about how like our parents, like they worked the same job for 35, 40 years and then retired, which is freaking dope. I mean, like, I think it's amazing that there's like a generational switch where we're starting our careers later. We're starting our lives later. And I'm not going to get into the conversation of why that is, but I think basically like educate yourself on yourself, what you love, what you're passionate about. Well, you know,
I think that's number one though.
Absolutely.
Education.
And like balancing your and my perspective, I think find the way that makes your money come easiest to you. Like if you can work 70 hours at a job and not hate it and like actually like, for example, like working at a restaurant, even though it didn't make me rich, even though it didn't make me like freaking buying a Lamborghini or get my financial goals that I wanted to, I can go into work a 12-hour shift and smile at the end of my shift.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And that's the main thing is And when you do get more educated, guess what? You're going to make your money work for you.
Exactly, right?
So-
and then you start doing that financial literacy that you're
Boom.
talking about, and you can fucking like you can take it to the roof.
Yeah. You don't need to make a lot of money to become like financially free is the term that I like using, but you don't have to obsess over. You don't have to make that much.
Yeah, so I think if you learned anything, it's like you can spend your money so that you make memories, but at the same time, like, don't spend it too much where now you're limiting the times that you can make those memories.
Yeah.
And even like the shitty jobs that you're working that you might not like, hey, so you have two options. You can have either choose to learn from it. So like, for example, I learned from a restaurant
Mhm.
that I need to work with people. I need to work with colleagues. I need people that I could confer with. I don't want to be a single entrepreneur who has my own business who doesn't talk to people. I don't want to sit in a cubicle and work on a desk all day.
Yeah, like it's
So learn from your opportunities, and also, if you're not happy, do something about it. Because you know what,
yeah.
I saw this TikTok, and it was like a joke TikTok, but like it actually hit me in the feels. It was like a guy talking to an alien, and this alien comes to Earth and he goes, "Oh, you humans have really short lifetimes, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, well, I mean, like technology has like made us live to like 100." So they're like, the alien says, he goes, "So you only have 100 years to live on this planet?" And the human goes, "Yeah." And the alien goes, "So you have such a short time to live on this planet, and you guys do things that you don't want to do and worry about things you don't want to worry about?" And the human goes, "Yeah, that's about right."
Damn.
And it's a joke, but at the same time, it's like we have such a short, fragile, brief speck on this like earth. Like, use your time, spend time with people, spend time with your family, meet more people, meet people that you love, make memories, and however you're chasing money, chasing passion, chasing girls, like find you, do you, and enjoy it.
I love that. I love that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Rattled up.
I love that. So hopefully you guys got a couple nuggets from that one. Just our two different perspectives. And yeah, I learned a new thing today, about passion and stuff. But
It's a really good passion.
yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you
But-
so much for listening. You guys know what to do. We got tons more coming out for you guys. We can't wait. We love your guys' support. Don't forget to follow us on Think, Grow, Evolve podcast on Instagram. Feel free to send us more emails. We love hearing from you guys. DMs.
And tag us, and we'll repost you guys, to get some clout.
Yeah, you guys want that fame. Duh. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Much love and peace.
Take care.